What's up guys, Mike here, and it is springtime in Colorado. So I've got the 2021 Honda Talon Live Valve here. We're going to be switching out the rear tender springs to improve the softness of the ride over the small chatter bumps and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the rear springs off. I'll take the old tender springs off, and I will show you the difference between the two and why I ordered these guys. Okay, so we've got the coils off of the springs now, and I know what a lot of you guys are thinking, Mike, you cheap SOB, if you're going through this much work, replace both the springs. And here's why I didn't, is because if you actually call up Fox and figure out what the weights of these springs are, the main spring is a 300 weight, 16-inch long, 3-inch inner diameter, and the tender spring is a 300-pound, 3-inch inner diameter, 7-inch long, I believe. Yep, 7 long. So, doing further research, you learn that a lot of the big companies are replacing the main spring with the exact same main spring. So why would I spend double the cost to replace something that's the exact same? A lot of the big companies are using a 300-pound, 16-inch long main spring. So I guess just doing research is what's preventing me from spending that extra money, or that knowledge is what's saving me that extra money, however you want to look at it. So let's take a look at the new tender springs. So again, this is a 7-inch long, 300-pound tender spring. That's the stock one. The new one is a 10-inch long, 150-pound spring. So I'm actually cutting the weight in half. So that's pretty drastic, but it's what I did on my last Talon. Again, doing research on what a lot of the big companies are doing. This is what they're doing too. So why reinvent the wheel? Some of them do use a 12-inch long. I like the 10 because I don't have the spring presses and stuff, so I can still get a 10-inch tender spring mounted back on the shock without having to have any special equipment, and then I can just cinch it back down from there. So that's why I like the 10 over the 12. Although I will say that whenever I ordered this spring, I was assured by the guy that they had an exact replica of the Live Valve Honda Talon Blue. And that guy's, yeah, close enough for government work. Alright guys, so we've got the entire spring assembly back in there now. I still have to set the preload and the crossover ring location, but I have a feeling it's going to be kind of a nightmare with the Live Valve because it's going to try and make up for it, so I can't just kind of shake it and scrub it out like I would normally do. So I have a feeling that's going to be pretty tedious, and I'm not going to bring you along for all that. Plus, this isn't really a how-to video, it's just explaining what I've done in hopes that it helps someone else out there. That's all this is. So take it for what it's worth. If you disagree, I don't blame you. If you agree, hey, no doubt. I want it to live in the tender spring for about 1 3/4 inches before it hits and goes over to the main spring. That's kind of been the sweet spot that I've noticed, so that's where I'm going to run it on this car as well. Real quick recap. So we pulled out the 7-inch 300-pound tender springs, replace them with a 10-inch 150-pound tender spring. And again, I know that sounds like a lot, like we're cutting it in half, but in actuality we're not. We're actually cutting it by about 25% because we have the two 300s, so whenever they act together it actually brings it down to 150. So by bringing this one down to 150, it's only bringing it down 75, which may or may not make sense. But springs kind of get complicated. This isn't a perfect solution for everyone. This is just what I found works for me, my riding style, and honestly my weight class. So a lot of people are like, man, that is BS that you buy a $24,000 car and you have to change out the shocks. Well, that's not really fair to say, because Honda is having to make a one-size-fits-all vehicle. So they don't know what's going in here. They don't know if 200-300-pound people are going to be in here jumping it in the dunes. They don't know, you know, who's going to be driving it, what the weight's going to be. So they kind of have to do a worst-case scenario. So I understand that these new shocks cost me 120 bucks. And it's going to take me about 2 hours to replace. So I'm not getting on the forums complaining about the rough ride, the bucking, anything like that, whenever the solution is just as cheap and fast as it is to complain about it online. So that's just kind of my take on it. I'm not mad at Honda. They oversprung the rear end. Everyone knows that, again, but it's a pretty simplistic solution. So plus, then this allows you to tailor to your weight class, your riding style anyway. The whole idea is to make the machine your own. So they give you a good platform, and then we're just building on it. So that's kind of it. I want to thank you guys, as always, for watching my videos. I hope you find this somewhat informational. If you do me a favor, make sure you like and subscribe. We've got a lot of big plans for this guy. Obviously, we've already started. We're hitting it hard, adding a bunch of stuff right off the bat. So make sure that you have the subscribe button going. You have the notifications turned on. So as we put new stuff on, you're the first to know, and you get to check it out with us. Well, as always, thanks again, guys. I appreciate the support, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.